years that have followed, the space race inspired a generation of scientists and innovators, including, I'm sure, many of you. It's contributed to immeasurable technological advances that have improved our health and well-being, from satellite navigation to water purification, from aerospace manufacturing to medical industry.
Long now has mankind looked up to the skies and wondered if we are alone in this universe. Many miraculous things have been spotted all over the world, reported by our militaries, and sparked great debates amongst ourselves. I am here to tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, people of Earth, brothers and sisters of all races, all countries, that we are not alone. We have never been alone. That some higher power has seeked to spread the gift of life throughout the universe and beyond all comprehension. It is in these times we must learn to love one another. We must not share hate, but joy. We must not inhibit, but we must grow. These beings are our friends. They are our family. They want to help us become better, to see the true potential of mankind. And for maybe one day, we will join them in their voyage to help other beings from other star systems. As shocking as this news may be, it is nothing new. Our governments of the world have known for quite some time that we are not alone in this universe, and we have had contact for many of years, slowly preparing the American public and the publics of the world for such a revelation. We are not alone, and we are about to embark on the greatest journey mankind has ever experienced. Ladies and gentlemen, we have contact.
That was brilliant, by the way. That was one of the best videos I think you've. I'm going to watch that again after. Do you know that?
Yeah,
I must have taken you a while to do that there, Dakota.
Oh, yeah, because I'm having constant snow trip and technical issues. Nothing was wanting to work for me.
That's crazy. I went actually that Facebook place where I tell you about when I met the people. I went and posted the link to this. It says come to the live, so if the chuck is out, we'll see what happens. But that's just crazy. That was actually really, really, really good. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got one watching us right now, and that's probably me, by the way. I've posted out, I've shared out, so give it 10 minutes or so to fill in someone watching us live.
Hey, I know it's the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen, but come on, this guy has been absolutely. The bonkers ain't even the word for it for his little tirade that he was just on. My God.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what I was annoyed at about, guys. I was very annoyed, right? You know, Christmas is came, the goose is getting fat, I get some vouchers. I got myself a new leather seat, which I'm on now, you know. I'm not sitting in like an old deck chair, right? Now here's the thing, right? Here's the crazy thing. I ordered a professional boom mic, which is kind of one of the ones that come up, you know, so people can hear you better, because I've got a stupid one connected to the laptop. Maybe you can understand this. Yes, I'm Scottish, I know, but just listen to this. I ordered that on Amazon, right? And I've lost my package. How is that? If you're watching me, Amazon, disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. But anyway, we've got other news, haven't we? We've reached 1,000 subscribers!
Yes! We made it to 1,000 subscribers on our main YouTube channel. So, being that it's the last episode of the year, we made it to 1,000. We're going all out tonight, so please, ladies and gentlemen, share this out. We have UFO clips. We have EVP clips. We have scientists coming in. We're pulling out all the stops we can for this one.
Yes, except for my Amazon package. Terrible.
So,
Yeah.
Hey, A typical man, always obsessing over. Typical man, obsessing over nothing but his package.
Yes, well, you know what? Somebody was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, we have got some amazing stuff to tell you. What's that? We can't see Dakota. They say they can't see you, Dakota. Put your light on, man. See that guy? That. My God.
That's my mother, by the way.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Hello there. That is.
Yes, that is my mother that you were hitting on.
Oh, look. Hello there. I didn't know you had this lovely little boy.
Good God.
Yeah.
Is that better, Ma? Get your glasses on!
Anyway, we have got some amazing stuff lined up for you tonight. I don't want to embarrass Dakota anymore, you know. I feel bad for you, Dakota, you know.
Yeah, right, you lying sack.
Scottish Outlookers in the house tonight. Hey guys, hope everyone had a good Christmas. Yes, I did have a good Christmas, and yes, I hope you had one too. But the new year is here. Now, you thought I was going to start on about the Amazon delivery man there, didn't you? You thought I was going to say something about him. But yeah, I didn't say it, you know.
My God, if we weren't so this close to getting monetization, I would say you should have seen how much this man was swearing. I have never seen him get so fucking worked up. Oh, I just slipped.
But here's the thing, guys. That's us at 1,000 subscribers now, and we only need something like 15,000 watch hours or something like that, which will come by summertime. Shouldn't take that long, you know. And then we can monetize, and we can put some money together, and hopefully we can get Dakota a wig.
Hey, I actually look good, Bald. You're the one that's a little skeptical, my friend.
What do you mean? I'm clean shaven. I've got me a hair in my eyebrows there, see them?
I have hair in my eyebrows. They're just blonde.
I think he shaves them.
Oh, don't say that. There's a story, and my mother's in the room.
Oh, is there a story? Shannon, is there a story about? Oh, well, we'll need to hear that one. But anyway, what do you want to start talking about first tonight? What do you want to talk about?
Because this is Contact, we do have it is our UFO show. There's a certain topic that comes up a lot. You see it a lot in Marvel shows nowadays with DC Comics. We're going into the multiverse.
The multiverse. Very interesting subject, that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually watched a video on it today, and it was this top professor. You probably see it. It was in somebody's show. I'm not going to mention his show, but this guy is like a physics professor. He works in like the CERN and all that stuff. This is coming for somebody that's very important in the world, right? And he was going back to, I'll give you the short story because the long story is too long. He went back to the 1970s when drug taking in the days were, well, let's just say a lot more than it is today. And you ever MD in here's heard of magic mushrooms and stuff like that. They'd attain them, right? And he had an experience, but just wait for this. He had an experience where he was walking and the fields all around about him was dead cattle everywhere, right? There was houses destroyed and it looked like the place where he stayed, right? And he presumed, he's been in the multiverse, he's seen the future, there's got to be a nuclear war, right? So he tells his friends, he says, I had a weird dream last night, and there's got to be a nuclear war, and he explained everything. Anyway, long story short, he gave them the date, and on that day, he says, it was maybe September-ish. On that day, there was a big storm in the mountains, right? And it came down the valley, and it totally destroyed the entire farmland, right? So he went back to his house, and he's driving along this road, and the sun's beating down, right, after the flood, and far as the eye could see was dead cows everywhere, and broken buildings. And he thinks that he went into the multiverse when he was taking that. He's seen the future. He thought it was like a nuclear war that he was seeing, but it wasn't. It was that event that happened. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that? Hey, paranormal world investigators.
Oh, yes, but he was definitely going to be wanting to see tonight's show.
Yes. So what can you tell us about the multiverse and seeing into the beyond?
Yeah. Well, first off, let's just say that if there is anybody who gets confused about the topics we discussed tonight, do not feel bad. Some of the world's most brilliant minds, when they go to talk about this, they do this for their living. Even they say, don't think about it too much because it's going to fry your brain.
I mean, I've been researching the multiverse stuff. I will say this, I have been researching the multiverse stuff for years now. Because I've always been interested in it, but it is something. I mean, when you open one door, it leads to like another 20 doors. And then when you open the 20 doors, it opens to another multiple doors. It's madness. I mean, it brings in the Mandela Effect. It brings in parallel worlds where we've got here. You know, it's I'm handsome, you know. It's just one of these things, you know.
Well, short, how can I say this to make it simple? The short, definition or whatever you want to call it for when it comes to the multiverse, it's a mathematical concept that this is not the only universe that exists.
No. That
you can build on more and more dimensions, and basically there comes a point where anything becomes possible. And if you actually work in some of the concepts when it comes to these higher dimensions and some of the beings that we have we've talked about over the show and previous shows we've done, it could actually explain how certain things are possible. And it is something that absolutely mind boggles. And tonight, we get into it, we may actually have proof of multiverse communication. So, yes, so those of you who aren't watching, please do share out because we do have some clips we're going to get into later. This is, and it's something we wanted to get into because when it comes to ET contact, it's not just a situation where we have, aliens from Mars coming to visit us. No, we have these beings coming out saying they're not from the same reality, same realms. We have people who use spirit box sessions who make contact with what they initially thought was spirits, but they're saying, no, we're alive, we're just not from this universe.
A lot of people don't realise this. A lot of the aliens, right? I'm going to bring up Roswell, right? Let's bring up Roswell. The Roswell Aliens, everybody in the scientific community that's into UFOs, that's into this kind of stuff, all know that the aliens that was at Roswell were interdimensional aliens, right? Mm-hmm. Now, they think the reason they crashed us was because we were testing nuclear weapons. And the nuclear weapons somehow, I don't know how their ships work. I don't want to be sitting here right now, be a billionaire and inventing some type of technology, or the government would have killed me because they wouldn't want it getting out.
Maybe that's why your Amazon packages haven't been coming in.
That's what that is, actually. But honestly, I mean, the afterlife, because we do it on a Saturday night, we talk about the afterlife to you guys. I mean, the afterlife, if you really think about it, is just another dimension. Mm-hmm. Right? The spirit world is just another dimension. So when you die, you go to another dimension. See, here's the thing that's actually, I've always wondered, right? Here's the thing, right? They say there's multiple dimensions, right? Right. Mm-hmm. So when you die, you go to that dimension, you go to the afterlife, right? So where do the people, when they die, of a different dimension go? Do they go to the same dimension you went to? Or do they go to their afterlife dimension.
That's the interesting part, because what a lot of people don't realize, this is where a lot of, when it comes to anything, just about anything under the supernatural umbrella, gets a lot of criticism, because not everybody can really agree on what exactly is going on. What is this?
Yeah. What's that?
Tomato electric.
I've heard that somewhere. I can't mind what that is.
Somebody's looking to stir up political BS. But
yeah, we don't talk political really in here, but when you go, we'll get
anyway.
away with it this time. But when you were going, you were saying?
Anyway, just lost track of my thought there. Anyway, see, how do I put this? We are in a three-dimensional space. With the fourth dimension, we observe as time.
Yeah.
And then, let's take it as a literal example. Say we die, somehow our consciousness moves up to the fourth dimension, where allegedly beings that exist here can essentially time travel at any given moment. They can alter their age, how they look, things like that. The fourth dimension is still built up of several three-dimensional worlds, so there could very well be a point where ETs pass away and go into their version of the afterlife. There's a point where it's all going to eventually become just one big thing.
One big thing? What do you mean, one big thing? Because if you think about it, right, they say this universe will end one day, right? So does that mean all universes will end at the exact same time?
That's why it gets so confusing.
Or is it when everybody dies in these universes, right, and we all go to this one place, right? Just think about this. We all go to this one place, all our souls, all our energies go to this one place, but everything is destroyed, right? Right? When everything is destroyed and everything's like that, right? Will it begin again? Is that what the Big Bang was? Is that where the Big Bang came from? Is that where we came from? You see what I'm trying to say? Is that the Big Bang? So it's when all realities end, because they will end, right? So our reality will end at the same time as every other reality will end, right? Because we're on the same time scale, right? So when all those end, when all the people or souls or whatever it is are gathered together in one place, that explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it begins again. The cycle begins again. And then there's infinite worlds, right? And then when all they end, because they will end, it just begins again. And it just does that for eternity. What was that in the chat there? Was UV blocks smoked was blocked? What was that, by the way? What's that, Mark? What is that?
I have no clue, but they're getting kind of irritating.
Yeah. Guys, moderators in chat, could you please deal with them? Because it saves us doing it. Share if you're watching, or Scottish Outlooker, if any of you guys are in the chat, you can deal with the naughty people, you know.
Yeah, I find it funny. We hit 1,000. Now we're starting to get people out of the woodworks looking to stir up trouble. But
that's what it is. It's because we've hit 1,000. There's a lot of well, they're no trolls. I would say jealous people, and I know who you are.
Yeah, we have quite a few.
Paranormal world investigators. You're one of the mods in here. See if you see them, they posting them. You shouldn't just deal with them swiftly and severely.
Yeah, it looks like exactly. It's just we're just here trying to present a good time, and clearly some people can't handle the facts. And you know that's something we're going to go into towards the end of the show. I do have a little spiel about that.
I will have to bring this up. I mean, yes, we were at 560 subscribers when we started. Look at us now. We're 2 months on? 2 months and we're at 1,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going to be next year? We got about 5, 6, 7,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a couple of years down the line. You know, We're doing better than what we used to do, you know. But anyway, we're talking about them. I had to throw that in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I mean, the multiverse. I mean, it's something that I've always wondered. I mean, when you die, you go to the afterlife, right? So do you meet in that afterlife the same you yourself? Because you've obviously that. You see what I'm trying to say, right? There's two. Well, no day multiple worlds will say this is Earth A, this is Earth B, right? You die in Earth B, or at the Earth B, you go to heaven, right? And you, if Earth A dies, and you go to heaven, do the two of you meet, or do they have their own separate afterlife?
Well, here's what I've always wondered. There is a theory called quantum immortality where basically it says that, say you somehow manage to survive a life-threatening situation. It's something that, let's say, like, it's a car accident as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Some theories that actually say that the consciousness itself is immortal, and what it will do is transfer itself into a body in a very similar reality, a parallel one that's close enough to ours, to where you live on. Mm-hmm. And that's where they say part of the Mandela Effect comes into play. So it really makes you wonder, is it a part where do we just keep going? Do all the souls eventually just kind of meet up? Because we've, say, like, with our friend Lisa Fry, she's talked about soul fragments before. Yeah. Where over time with the reincarnation process, part of us gets broken off when we go into a new body that we eventually meet up back with later on. Unfortunately, this is one of the harder things that a lot of the major ways to test it means waiting for somebody to die and report on what happened.
I mean, if you think about it, have you ever seen the film with Robbie Williams and it's When Dreams May Come?
I don't believe I have.
Right. He dies, he goes to heaven, right? And before that, his daughter and his son died in car accidents, right? Mm-hmm. But he meets this Chinese woman and he meets this old guy, right? And they help him through to understand the afterlife, right? But at the end, the old guy turns out to be his son, and the woman turns out to be his daughter. And they went basically say this: we have been multiple people, we have been thousands of people, right? And when you go back, a little tiny bit of you stays here, right? So you can stay in the afterlife. You can do what you want in the afterlife for eternity, right? Right, but when you die, when that part of you dies and comes back, you experience that person's life, right? And you become that person. So on the cycle goes.
Well, so which reminds me. Well, it's like when you really think about it, there is this one clip that is allegedly of what looks like an alien gray that's being interrogated by what we assume is U.S. officials by the fact that it's American accents. That's exactly what he says, is that when we go to die, we essentially go back to source. Every being that we come into contact with, everybody who's ever lived, who died, everybody who's still alive, we're all different instances of the same thing, and eventually we go back to singularity. Yeah. Which certainly makes you wonder, because when, I will say this because we do have an EVP clip that I think some people might find interesting, especially if they happen to be fans of Justice League, hint, hint. Where...
I was watching that today, actually. Superman.
Well, those who may be fans of the Keanu Reeves movie, we also have instances where people who may be psychically gifted, say they were out writing a book or writing a comic book, then all of a sudden they swear up and down that they've met their creations in our world. Yeah. So what does that say?
It says that there is multiple versions here. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Honestly, it's just. So is that where double? What are they called again?
Doppelgangers.
Is that where doppelgangers come from? Then are they just in their own reality, and you see them for that split second doing their thing?
Well, it certainly makes you wonder. So, how about this? Why don't I play the clip I was just referencing?
Go for it.
For those of you who happen to have a good set of headphones on, you might want to stick them on. I did put it through some audio filters. I'll explain after we play the video what was going on. And for those of you listening in chat, please do feel free to say what you think it's saying.
Yeah.
So, we'll go ahead and key that up.
That's quite a curious one. I thought he said something. What do you think it says?
That's why I'm kind of holding out, because if it is saying what I think it's saying, that means something from the Justice League is coming to our world.
Can you play it one more time?
Of course.
That's a strange one.
Oh, yeah. So.
Here's a scenario for you. If enough people think about it for long enough, can it come alive?
That's where we get the concept of tulpas.
Yeah, that's
and even in Elena Dinan's book, she talks about there's a point where the ETs actually figured out how to create entire worlds from thought. Basically, the logic is that the concept of what they call source, which is basically our equivalent of an all-powerful, all-creator God, because we're all part of it, technically, we have the same abilities. So who's to say that with every little thought, say you're the type that likes to create stories inside your head.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, there's actually studies out there that say the human mind can actually create neurological pathways in the 11th dimension, which, depending on which version of string theory you follow, 10, 11, 12 dimensions is where you get the multiverse.
I mean, you could bring up like Slender Man in theory, because they kids actually thought that Slender Man was real.
Mm-hmm.
Did they create him?
It certainly makes you wonder, because there are reports, and it was something that we did talk about with Sherry after an incident on her platform, where there is a certain entity out there who either takes a very similar form or has something that goes with him, because it's not the first time I've had it come up, where a Slender Man-like being comes out and can actually cause an injury.
But then again, could it? Here I'm going to drift away into something here. What happens if it's a highly advanced species of alien for a different dimension, right? That can feel you, they can feel things, they can read your thoughts, right? And if enough people think about it, like Slender Man, right, they can make it real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who's to say that
the love for this kind of thing? Thanks, Sherry.
Who's to say that the beings we know as angels, the archangels, archdemons, gods, any deity out there that you can really think of, they aren't just that. And our whole creation is just their imagination.
That's very true. I mean, we're getting a wee bit of religionist here. It's you think about it, right? Right, here's a scenario for each year, right? Imagine we're 200 years in the future, right now, right? And you're in your spaceship, right? And something happens and you end up on this planet, right? And populated by humans that are like, say, 600, like maybe from like the 13th, 14th century, right? Or even the 12th century world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they see you coming down in your big ship, and then you come out the door with all your gear on and your gadgets that can take photos, and they're like, "Oh, you're hurt, son. We'll heal you," and they heal you just by touching you because they've got like antibiotics and stuff like that. How would you look at them? How would you look at them? You'd be like, "Oh my God, this is a god."
Mm-hmm.
So is this where religion ties? Because there's too many coincidences here. There's too many coincidences in India, in Australia with the Aborigines, because let's face it, the Aborigines are really old. They're older than any, really. And India is an amazing place because they've got like Texas and walls and stuff. These iron ships come out of the heavens, and I think, yes, there was religions, but I do think it's slightly exaggerated, right, over the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Exactly. It's the world's longest game of telephone. Yes, that's what it comes down to. It's
like my next door neighbour seen a man fall over. And he's like, "Oh, did you hear about the man fell over because he was hit by a car?" And then the next guy hears it and he says, "Did you hear about the man that was hit by the car, fell over, but there was a man punched him in the face?" Adding wee bits on as you go, right? Mm-hmm. And when you get to the very end, you've got a big book filled with pish. That's what it's like. It is like that. I mean, who knows what is real? And the only way you could possibly find out is by going back in time, which might not be able to work out, but then again, maybe you could. Oh. He's got the plague, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. It's begun for him.
I know. I've been caught. They got me.
Yeah, and they've got you. They're taking you away. You know.
And you know, that's another thing. Because let's say the concept of like wormholes, black holes, all that. Say it's a lot like stacks of paper stacked on one top of one another. And what we consider is like wormhole is essentially something moving very fast to the point it causes a rip.
No.
Who's to say that ship doesn't accidentally move down a few pages without realizing because it's moving so damn fast?
Or you could think of it in this sense too, the multiverse, the infinite worlds. What happens if it is like a book?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
One sheet of paper is our reality. So every sheet of paper's the same reality, but just different outcomes.
But that's what I'm saying, because they say every timeline branch that builds up into every reality, every little motion that we do, any variation of what that can do, even the variation of how light travels, creates another branch. It's where it's just constantly branching off. And who's to say that all these realities technically aren't stacked up at one point to where if a rip goes into one, someone who goes through it and manages to survive, let's put that out there, they go through what they think is their same reality because it looks the same, but then they start paying attention. There's little differences in detail.
So here's an interesting one. Here's an interesting topic. Is the Mandela Effect our sheet of paper merging with another sheet of paper? Is our sheet of paper going into like a slit in another sheet of paper, right? So, I mean, Mandela Effect, everybody knows the Ford badge, everybody knows the Bernstein Bears, everybody knows the Monopoly Man. The Monopoly Man had an eyeglass, right? I know he had an eyeglass. I can remember playing Monopoly. It's a game that I used to play. He had an eyeglass. The same with the A-Team van. The A-Team van was black with a red stripe. Now it's black and grey with a red stripe. That's what I'm trying to say. But how could that possibly? How could two realities merge unless something was done?
Well, who's to say that instead of the sheets of paper example, it's a lot like when a lot of these major structures in the universe are mapped out, what a lot of people noticed is that there are very similar appearances to neurological structures inside the human body.
Yeah.
So let's run with this example. I know this kind of teeters on religion, and that upsets some people, but no, I'm just going to say, sometimes you got to deal with the controversial stuff in order to find out the truth. That's all I'm saying. Just in case we have any more haters that decide to pop in. Anyway.
They can pop in with the one. I'll just blow them. When you go.
Who's to say that the rips in the papers are more like cuts in the flesh? And these realities merging together are like the universe trying to heal itself, but a lot like how sometimes if you go to break an arm, they have to put a cast around it so it heals correctly.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Or it's what you're saying is a simpler way. It's a piece of rope, right? And every strand in that rope is a universe, right? Mm-hmm. And somebody's cut in to that piece of rope, cutting into realities, right? So they've tried to repair it, but some of the realities have been intertwined and interwoven with the other realities forever.
Let's use an example from pop culture. The Loki series, the whole concept of the sacred timeline. I'm probably spoiling something for Marvel fans, but it's been out for a while, so if you haven't seen it yet, you're sore out of luck. Basically, the Marvel Universe is trying to build up to where their next big Avengers crossover, or their next big endgame, is going to be a multiverse war. It's obvious. And if you pay attention during the Loki series, when the sacred timeline, where one single strand gets broken off, it branches off. Eventually, those branches are going to intersect. And let's use another example, the movie Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, where at the beginning of the movie, the girl has things flying around in a room. She thinks she's being haunted by a ghost, when you later find out later in the movie that it was actually her father in a different reality moving those things, trying to get her attention.
I need to be quiet for a second. I mean, you've got to hear a bit of noise because it's just somebody kind of doing something. But anyway, do you not think? Go just for a minute, just to mute my mic for just 1 minute to talk about something.
It certainly makes you wonder. And with that tape no, Sherry, we didn't send you an invite. Nothing against you, just we had our own little plan for tonight. So
I'm back. That's erupting, man. That's erupting.
I know. I hate when that happens.
I need a big red light above my door. But I did watch the Avengers. I will admit that, the multiverse and stuff like that. I mean, that was the Stones, was it not? What's his name? Made a glove or something like that. And got all the stones and.
Yeah, Thanos.
I mean, it is mind-boggling, isn't it? This is the thing about the multiverse, guys. It is so mind-boggling. It is. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about this. I'm like, what? I see what you're saying, right? See when you're talking about the human body, right? But what happens if that's what reality really is? What happens if... Well, I've got to take you to a stage in Men in Black here, right? What happens if... What happens if, right, we are actually, the universe is inside something?
Yeah. It certainly makes you wonder. And when it comes to that, what a lot of people don't realize, and especially nowadays where we still have people that try to deny the existence of extraterrestrials, with the multiverse concept, that going into play, because when you think about it, it could actually shorten travel by using past the direction that we can't even physically process because we emerged from the plains of Africa. It increases the likelihood infinitely, as well as infinitely making it to where there may not be other civilizations out there all at the same time.
It makes you wonder, there might be in realities the same as this, humans may never have existed. It might be something else totally far different. Dinosaurs.
There was a video with Neil deGrasse Tyson where he explains that when it comes to interstellar travel, interdimensional travel, we have to be extremely careful. Because essentially, the physics that allow us to have solid bodies in this reality may make it to where we're nothing more than sentient piles of goop in others. Where interdimensional travel can very well kill us if we're not careful and plan out accordingly and do our research.
It's not just that. You know as well as anybody in here in Sherry Paranormal World and other ghost hunters know that if you open a doorway, it's not just you can come through. Mm-hmm. Something else might come through. Something dark. You open that door and you can't close it, and you can destroy this universe. You could totally destroy it.
But who's to say, at the same time, that all these other parallel realities, they also don't have similar doors to help keep things stable?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But what happens if the entities, what happens if there's, right, I'm going to throw another one out there. What happens if there's like humans out there that are maybe further ahead than us, maybe 300-400 years ahead than us? Maybe the aliens landed, right? And they've made them highly intelligent, right? And maybe they've opened the door to our reality. And they're the ones that are visiting us, ourselves, from another reality. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's God. It's just thinking about it because it's infinite. The people don't realise this. It's like infinite. It just goes on forever. And some people will go, well, it can't last forever because the universe will collapse and explode. We don't know the universe will collapse and explode. See, we just think that there was a Big Bang, right? That's what your scientists say, right? But what happens if they're wrong? What happens if the universe has always been and will always be, will never end?
You know, that's an argument that a lot of people try to make, and they don't realize that, yes, mainstream science fully accepts that it could be wrong about something. There could be new information that comes along. And there's this quote I've been hearing a lot of lately that I think more and more people need to realize is that if something seems impossible, it just means you're missing something.
Yeah.
I do have a clip here from an old panel that involves Carl Sagan. It kind of puts things into perspective. And I've mentioned several times before on various different shows I've been on that the situation we are experiencing nowadays with UFO disclosure is nothing new. We're having a repeat of what we've had 40, 50, 60 years ago. In fact, well, go ahead and play that clip right now so we can, stir up the conversation a little bit more.
It is now okay to talk about life elsewhere or intelligent life elsewhere, whereas a decade or two ago, it wasn't okay. It was considered too speculative to be worth any investment of time.
If the number of stars in our galaxy alone is so staggeringly large, of the order of 10 to the 11 or more, the probability of stars having planetary systems is so high, we think perhaps half. The probability that those planetary systems might be comparable with our own, and that the stars have some kind of an ecosphere, a sphere in which the radiation is suitable for life, that it's not too hot, not too cold, meeting the other criteria, seems so reasonable. These bits of information that come from astronomy primarily. And then we join with the biochemists who tell us about the probable evolution of life here on Earth, the kinds of elements that are necessary for it, DNA molecules, amino acids and the like. Amino acids which have now been found in meteorites, that we have now found interstellar molecules floating out in the space between stars. So that you know the materials for a carbon-based life exist. We know that many of the building blocks of life in our own solar system exist off of our planet. If you put these kinds of probabilities together, it begins to lead to the sorts of conclusions that we started with as an initial premise, and which apparently no one on the panel has disagreed. And that is that life must exist in the universe, and it must exist quite abundantly.
The most optimistic estimates, in the view of many, about the number of civilizations that there might be in the galaxy is of the order of 1 million, which means that only one in a few 100,000 stars has such civilizations.
That would mean a billion such places just in our own galaxy that might contain life.
As I believe there's a society of these groups, not just one. There are probably very many. There's only one. We have no hope of finding them. There are probably thousands, maybe as many as 1 million. They probably already have had a long history of this same experience of finding new ones and bringing them into the network.
As much as we celebrate the diversity of life on Earth, at the end of the day, we must confess we have a sample of one, because all life on Earth is related. And there'd be no greater discovery in the history of biology, in the history of science, to find an entire other biosphere, an entire other ecosystem with life thriving and surviving all unto itself, with no reference to anything that goes on here on Earth. These are the first steps to those discoveries.
And this was a point that I bring up a lot. Initially, they start talking about the fact that they're not directly saying it, but they're looking at how life evolved here on Earth, trying to find it on other planets. Yet we have so much diversity here on this planet alone. So many different species that can survive environments that would kill us.
Oh, yeah.
And yet we're looking for other planets that we could potentially colonize. We are mine for resources, all this other stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
we are limiting ourselves.
I mean, you think about it, right? There'll be other worlds out there where the worlds to us are deadly, right? And you walk out your spaceship, they're dead instant. But because life's evolved there, right, they thrive. I mean, people ask me, why do the aliens not look like us? Because they might live on a planet where the gravity's different. They might live on a planet where it's different temperatures. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's not every alien looks like a human. Yes, there is meant to be. There is meant to be. Is it how many humanoids in this galaxy is there meant to be?
At
God,
least
23 or something.
20 to 30, just in the galaxy.
And then you think about how many galaxies is there in the universe?
How can we know for sure? We're only counting the stuff we can physically see.
Yeah.
And that's another point. Let's take the Pleiades star system as an example. Yeah. It's one of the closest systems to us. There's a lot of young life that supposedly have a lot of really young planets. It's about 400 to 450 light years away, which means roughly at the time that light left that star system would have been the 1600s here. Who's to say that there is a civilization that's pretty much like us technologically wise that realizes, wait a sec, there's something going on in that direction in the sky. We just haven't gotten the signals yet, because to us, we're seeing what the 1600s looked like to them, and it might be the very same. There's so many different factors that not a lot of people are thinking about.
It's like the film Contact, right? Everybody's seen Contact, right? And strangely, phenomenal enough, the aliens receive a transmission, and it's Hitler standing, doing his thing, talking rubbish, right? Talking to all his followers, right? They see that, but they don't realise that time is different. So it's like it's madness. Just think about it. You could be looking up one night and you could look at a star and you could think, God, I wonder if there's aliens up there, right? Maybe there is, right? And they're looking back, but by the time it gets to them, so many hundred years has passed here. And it's the same there, and it's, oh God. It's madness, isn't it?
It is, and we do have an EVP clip that involves the Pleiades.
Right.
So, earlier, that clip I played before was come from an experiment I called the Hunt for Infinite Earths. Basically, right. I chose targets that allegedly that visited our world before, and I have other clips here that from similar experiments. See if we can make contact again, and if you listen, something clearly answers me back. So we can go ahead and just play this one session here.
Are you guys the Pleiadians? Are you Pleiadian? Yes. Is Olivia's mother Pleiadian? What was that? Is Olivia's mother a Pleiadian?
That's interesting, that.
Mm-hmm.
I heard yes when you asked, is Olivia's mother Pleiadian? Yes. Was that Sherry in the chat? Where are you going, guys? No, we're still here. That's strange, that. I did hear some other stuff what I found interesting. It was kind of language, the light language in the background. Did you hear that? It's like clicking. It's like clicking.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where I go to listen back to all old footage now that we know more now, and it's just like, holy crap, how much did I actually miss just because I didn't know what to look for?
Well, I heard the clicking. I heard the clicking, and I ken the clicking's got something to do with the greys. So when you were doing that, they were there, I think. Do you know hear the like that is as if they were clicking, you know? Mm-hmm. Who's all in the chat? Drew, Christopher said Drew.
Yes, Drew, hello.
Hello. So, what else have you got for us, Dakota?
Oh.
Strange things.
Did not mean to hit that. Alright, these next couple of clips are about 5 minutes long, but it's one of the most intense sessions. It involves Valiant Thor from the Galactic Federation. It involves Verlon. And it also involves...
Sherry was paused.
Oh. I was about to say, I noticed it kind of glitched out after the session came back. So we'll go ahead and play the first one here. Let's see. There we are. Hopefully I'm hitting the right one. Something just growled. Yeah, it's quite vocal tonight, ain't it? My name is Dakota Frandsen. I would like to speak to a gentleman known as Valiant Thor.
Was Thor a real person? Valiant Thor. Said from the planet Venus. Was he real? Can I speak to him tonight? Yeah. Was that you I saw earlier today, Thor? Was that your ship I saw? I know we spoke earlier, but those files got damaged. So I might repeat some questions. Might repeat some questions that I already asked earlier today. Is that okay with you? Yes or no? I got a few devices here supposed to help me hear you a little easier. Yes, I heard my name. Thor, it's my understanding that you were concerned that people with you were concerned about nuclear arms on Earth. Is that true? Yes, we're going to do this again. Why don't you want us to have those weapons, Thor? You afraid that humanity on Earth is going to hurt itself? Hurt the planet beyond repair? I know I asked this earlier, but was that your ship I saw, Thor? Do you work with the Ashtar Command?
Very interesting. I heard quite a few things in that. I heard family. Then I heard Palladian. Then I heard family again. It's quite... What did you all hear in that?
With that particular experiment, I was running 3 different spare boxes at the same time, along with my K2, and that particular camera I used is one of those body cameras, so it gets a lot of static which tends to help. But yeah, earlier in that day, there was an incident where it's very hard to see on camera, but I was able to get a silver ball flying through the air.
Well, this
earlier in the day,
Paranormal World investigator said they said you seen the ship. It's I just don't know, man. It's quite spooky, actually. See when you re-listen to things, because I've noticed that when I do the Ghost Box sessions, you don't really hear it, right? But when you listen to it back, I mean, I heard other things too. I thought for a second I heard somebody growling at you.
Right at the beginning there, my God.
Then I heard Pleiadians. I heard come back. Then I heard family. Then I heard come back. Then I heard that click again. I heard that. And that's usually a sign the Greys. Because the Greys leader was meant to click.
We do have another clip from that very same session if people are interested.
Yep. Would you like to hear that, guys?
This is actually from a movie I did for Paraflix called Bonds of Beyond. Basically, it started out as a session to try to explore the overlap between spiritual and alien phenomenon. And now as we go into what we have going on now, I can't help but wonder, like, how much did I miss just because I didn't know?
We sat there, Paranormal World and investigators. So did you talk about the stuff coming in? I got in 10 minutes late. Well, you have to go back and watch the first time. Because we can't remember. Who's that?
Yeah, all I remember is Ivan. That's a new one.
Hello, Ivan. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not yet.
Wait a minute.
Ivan, howdy. Who's Ivan? Do you know who he is?
Is this my cousin's boyfriend? If so, we gotta talk, young man. I'm not approving of the language I've been hearing you using around ladies. We gotta talk, young man. If this is not you, then ignore that, Ivan.
I think it's that Ivan. I think it's another Ivan. I think seems to know Paranormal World investigators. About your plans with me and Sis. What's that?
Oh, I see what she's getting at. Well, towards the end of the program, I was thinking because we did get 1,000, we kind of reveal about some of our plans here coming for the new year. Just little tidbits, little teasers.
So play the
let's play the next part of the clip. And trust me, it gets even more intense. Yes. I heard a yes. What's that? It's a dog. What about the dog? Mom. If possible, I would also like to speak to Verlon. Verlon, you allegedly took over a television broadcast a long time ago. Is that true? Adjective? Do you mean objective? What's your objective then?
What about chaos? You trying to stop it? Yes or no? What are your intentions? I'm putting something together to try to help prove that you guys are real. Val, Ashtar, Berlon, all of you. Are you okay with me doing that? I'm hearing some other names come through. Is there someone else here? State your name, please. I would like to see you guys in person to learn more about you. Would that be possible?
Very interesting. Now, I'm just going to say, it said at the start, dog, right? And then, see maybe about 30 seconds in, there's a dog barking. Did you hear that?
Neighbor's dog.
No. They went, dog, and then there was like a bark. But it came through the... It came through that, but then again, maybe they seen and heard that dog before it happened. Multiverse here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I heard NASA involved. NASA. They said NASA 4 times,
Mm-hmm.
and then they said something about launching something. NASA,
Mm-hmm.
and then I heard stopped. Must be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
What did you hear?
I was hearing at least 5 different conversations coming through. The timestamp on the videos is correct. This took place back in April of this year. And I do know that there was a lot of concern about some satellites that were supposed to go up by NASA on their part.
So are we talking about the James Webb telescope?
No, this was before James Webb was being released. It was something else.
There was a new secret spy thingamabob, or the one that flies itself?
There was a series of satellites that were supposed to go up into the upper atmosphere that a particular scientist claims that he had a vision saying that it was not going to be a good idea to put them up because they were going to cause some harm. Let's just say a dear friend that we've had on the show, who's had a lot more experience with this than us, has said that there was in fact an intervention on behalf of the Galactic Federation to stop those satellites from going up.
Aye, but Elon Musk put his up. I mean, there's something...
Elon's not... They're not concerned about Elon.
So what's NASA putting up there that... What's NASA putting up there then? Because it's meant to be a front anyway, NASA. NASA's only meant to be a front for...
Certainly
what do you think? What do you think they've put up?
It didn't go up.
Do you think it was nuclear weapons?
No, it wasn't nukes. It was... I'm trying to remember without having to dig through the book, but basically the frequencies that these particular satellites sounds a lot like the concerns around 5G, where it was supposed to aid the Greys in suppressing us even further.
That is so weird. I mean, I heard NASA about 5 times, man. And then it must be stopped. It must be stopped. I heard that 3 times.
They were successful in stopping it, but I also noticed that there was one particular voice in there that I wasn't really aiming for, but it seemed like she was also trying to help. It was one of the clearest ones in there.
I heard a woman's voice, or a girl's voice, and it was quite clear.
And about a month before that is when I had the incident where I was taken to what looked like a hospital room with a woman and my daughter in bag, and my daughter's looking at me saying, "Daddy, come meet my new baby brother." Now he talks like he's in his 20s.
I also did hear 2 other things. I heard Palladians been mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard something else, which I've not heard for a long time, is the Anunnaki.
Well, they say type O negative comes from Anunnaki, which means anybody who has it is technically part reptilian.
Yeah.
And allegedly there's certain features on the skull that apparently run through my family that if you can feel it, essentially you can feel what they call like devil horns, and there's the ridges along the back. All signs of Anunnaki.
I mean, what's that in the chat there? What about Alpha Centauri? Oh, there you
There's
go.
There's ones around there too.
Oh yeah, there's Alpha Centauri, but it's... I mean, the Anunnaki, are they not meant to be like died out, the Anunnaki? Because...
No, they're still around.
And they use gold, I know that, but... Is that where all the world's gold's been going?
When you look at sites like El Dorado, there's, let's see, where was it? Basically any sites where there was allegedly a lot of gold hidden, you have a lot of UFO sightings.
Yes.
El Dorado being one of the more popular examples. There's quite a few others, but that's the one that off the top of my head.
It makes you wonder if they've maybe paid them off. The human race has paid them off. It says, "Oh, we'll supply you gold, but stay away."
Well, the story goes is that the Anunnaki allegedly created us as a slave race to mine the gold for them. But
it went wrong.
Not necessarily it went wrong. Somebody in the Anunnaki ranks rebelled, saw that we had a little bit more potential to be something else, and that's believed to be attributed to the snake in the Garden of Eden, dipping back into religion, but get over it, people.
Yes. Get over it. It's the new world's coming. It is new world's coming. Can you imagine what's going to happen in the next couple of months? The new year, what's the new year going to bring? What strange things? Maybe Amazon will manage to deliver my parcel. There's another dig at you there if you're watching. But it's... I couldn't help myself. But it makes you wonder what's coming this new year.
Drew asked a good question.
Why do they want the gold, as?
Well, gold is a pretty good conductor. It helps. We utilize a lot of it for our electronics. You can take like a bunch of old computers and cell phones. People actually mine gold from that stuff. But it also can be used to stabilize the atmosphere as well.
Yes.
There's gold in the atmosphere. Yeah. That's a few of the theories out there, but it's one of those things where we would have to sit down and talk with one in order to find out for sure.
Aye, but is it no with the Anunnaki? They use it for health benefits, do they not? Do they know use it so they can live for long periods of time?
Well, it certainly makes you wonder where certain indigenous tribes get that idea, where if you swallow gold, it helps with health benefits.
Yeah.
Certainly makes you wonder where they got that idea from.
But I mean, I know people mine gold out of old cell phones and computers and stuff like that. People don't realise the amount of, if you see a big pile of computers, it does take a lot of effort to get the gold back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you'd be there for a long time. You could do like 500 computers and you'd be lucky if you get like a wee speck. But it's, I've noticed less and less now, all the new modern technology is using less gold as it goes down. Because they say the world's running out of gold, but it makes you wonder, where's it going? How can the world run out of gold? If you really think about it, because I've got a gold ring on. Everybody's got jewellery. Can it just melt it down again? Can it just unless it's leaving the earth? Well,
there's people stockpiling it. There's a lot of people out there right now saying that because of what some believe is going to happen within the next couple of months, that we need to start stockpiling on gold so we have some sort of financial backup. But you also have to remember, the gold rings and like that aren't pure gold.
Yes. Well, I've had that signet ring. It's not a married ring, by the way, before the end of the season. It's a signet ring, and it's a 21 carat, right? So that's no pure gold. That's no pure gold. That's just. If it was pure gold,
if it was pure gold, you would be able to squeeze it with no force at all.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen pure gold, wee ingots. Be beautiful ingots, because I know someone that has them. I'm not telling you who's got them, but I have seen them, and it was one of my friends on the internet, and he showed me them, and I was like, wow. I mean, the weight in it, you know what I mean? But it makes you wonder, because you think of the national, what America had, all that gold America had, and now 90% of it's gone. Where? And the Fort Knox doesn't get used anymore. Then you've got Wall Street. Underneath Wall Street, people don't realise there's a big gold reserve underneath there. And it's nearly empty. And it's the same with the Bank of England. The Bank of England's got a big gold reserve, and that's nearly empty too. You know? Oh.
Very true. Very true.
Your mic there. Pressing the wrong button there, you know?
No, I felt like I was about to sneeze, so I was trying to mute it before, but...
What's that, Drew? She's a busy woman in PWI. I've joined us on Facebook for a strange and unknown. I'm already in a strange and unknown, you know. Strange.
Yes.
But what else would you like to talk about, Dakota? What other secret news do we have before the end of the show?
Well, I think we covered most of what we were wanting to talk about for tonight. You know, figure with all these... Yes, we do have some news. So I guess where Sherry is practically interrogating us through the chat, I think we can start through that.
There you go. Well, let's break silence on the new shows.
Yes. So Bald and Bonkers is not just going to be just these two knuckleheads anymore.
These two knuckleheads were you like a separate entity?
I said that I was pointing towards both of us, dude. I was like, well, do we have a third person on panel that I'm not seeing right now?
Well, if one of the girls wanted to share off all their hair, you know, they'd be a Bald and Bonkers.
Well, I do have the software on my phone to do that, so if we wanted to be mean. Anyway.
Welcome, John Mills, by the way, to the someone new in the chat.
Yes. So, our dear friends Sherry and Drew, who are in the chat, are going to be helping us with a Wiccan-based show.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I was initially planning on trying to have a teaser trailer up, but unfortunately, we got hit with some pretty serious snow in my area. I actually had to be dug out of a snow drift by my sister's boyfriend. Thank God he didn't charge me. And I've been having a lot of technical issues due to that, so unfortunately, but I will be. Oh dear God, Mom, what did you do?
What's that? Chris, check your messenger if you want a fun photo.
Oh God, she found the shaved eyebrows.
Here's messenger.
Oh God. Mom, I hope you have a nice, quiet shift tonight.
Message requests. You know that hat you've got on, guys. What's that song? I'm an island boy. I'm an island.
You want to show it?
I don't know how I can show it in here. I can.
Can you probably just hold it up to your camera and get a pretty good view. If you want, just.
Really, no. I'll turn the brightness down a wee bit, right? What's that song, guys? I'm an island boy. I'm an island boy.
That is my grandmother holding that hat to my head.
Look at that, guys. But it's like that. It's like 2012, eh? You were just a wee baby then.
Yeah, wee baby. I was already 6'5".
Oh, guys, it's so cute, isn't it? Oh, thank you, Shannon. Thank you.
God.
What do you got?
Oh. And here I thought Chris ranting on and swearing more than I've ever heard the man swear about Amazon packages was going to be the highlight of tonight.
I know. There you go.
Anyway.
So, everybody what it's called? Because we've no telling what we're going to call it, you know.
Yeah, no. Sherry was absolutely dying to get that a little bit when we were on her live, but well, here we'll sound it off tonight. Let's see. Oh, fuck off, Chris. Fuck off, the both of you. Anyway. See, ladies and gentlemen listening to the podcast, this is why you need to attend the live shows, because it's a lot more fun. Anyway, we thought we'd call it The Lost Magics.
Yes. You know, The Lost Magic. And
once I do get our trailer put together, I'll be sure to send it towards you, Sherry, so you can get a nice seal of approval. You know,
yes. We've not decided on what day it will be on in the new year, but obviously we'll tell you. But it's got to be like a theme. I used to do a show on my old channel called The Witch Now and stuff like that with Drew and stuff like that. So this is a continuation, but it's a new name, and I think it'll be really good. You know that?
No, it'll definitely be interesting. Let's see. What else should we go into? Oh yes, we have more. So, there's been a couple incidents now where things got a little tense, a little sketchy, and, well, if something went too wrong, we could end up losing somebody unalive.
Yeah.
So, for a while now, I've been experimenting with turning protection symbols into music. Basically, the thought is that you play these tones, they'll have the same effect. So it'll be anybody who believes they're dealing with a negative entity, be it ET, potential demonic, things like that. You play this, it can help you keep it at, or at least keep it at bay till you can get some help. So, and Sherry and Chris, due to the latest incidents, have already, they've already had the first version of it. Mm-hmm. So technically they've been serving as guinea pigs without realizing it. Run, little hamster, run! So here in the new year, I'm going to be working on putting these together into an album so that way they can be distributed through all major music distributions, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora. Try to hit all of them so that way anybody can access them. Let's just say, if it works, you can be able to fight off demons by playing around on TikTok.
Yeah.
If it works, because that's how well the distribution is I have set up. And we're also looking into creating a bit of a program, and this is something that our friend AJ Booker, you saw him as the professor on the Halloween special, has been helping out with a little bit, where we create a program that better helps people learn about the supernatural, how they can get started if they want to.
Yeah.
Find cheap and inexpensive equipment, because I'll be honest, I started when I was still in school, so obviously money was not an option.
Yeah.
But basically, a lot of the issues when it comes to the paranormal is the fact that nobody can agree on a single definition on what paranormal actually is.
That's true.
And I know that there's good intentions about people that are trying to say, oh, there's not one way to deal with the paranormal. Yes, while that may be true, that also creates a problem where if we want to try this to get it into mainstream science. Because when you look at it, the UFO disclosure movement, we're already going into stuff that would have put you in a straitjacket years ago.
No.
Yeah, I know that it's hard, but I've been field testing it, and Sherry and Chris here can verify that.
It does work. It does work, because I've noticed a few times. I've used it a couple of times. I mean, it does honestly work.
Let's just say we have people in chat who have seen me in action and why I put this thing together in the first place, and it's shown to be pretty effective no matter what situation it's been applied to.
I'm just I stuck in the link for Bald and Bonkers. Could you please subscribe if you're on through Facebook? That's a link there for you. It's in the chat. Just click on it, and that'll take you straight to the YouTube channel, and you can subscribe. But there'll be another show coming to this channel too, and it'll just be me doing like a UFO report. But that's next year, obviously. We've got that kind of stuff, but we've got other things planned, We've got other things planned.
Yes. We don't have a lot of details put in the stone yet, because the main thing is I'm in Idaho in the U.S., he's all the way in Scotland, so obviously we can't afford to just go back and forth anytime we want, as much as that would be nice.
Yeah.
But we are looking into putting together a UFO documentary that deals more with, that talks about some of the experiences we've been having as well as the things we've learned about it. Yeah. And no, Drew, I don't think she would want to be on.
That's actually a good idea. Hey, Drew's paranormal vlog. I mean, honestly, can you, what, she could explain, has she experienced any paranormal?
Yeah, she's come on to a couple cases with me. She's seen things move around the house. She's had my late grandfather, her father, mess with her even after he passed away. Let's say things got interesting.
Very interesting. But here's another thing we were going to do, guys, and I know some of you, obviously, but you guys have helped us get to 1,000 subscribers, so we want to do something for you guys to help you get to 1,000 subscribers. So we're going to host it. Is it once a month, Dakota?
Yeah, I think once a month is a good start, and if it starts growing more, we might do it more. But yeah, we've also started thinking about putting together a special spot where a special broadcast where anybody can come on and promote their stuff, whether it's their channel, their website, maybe a movie they're getting ready to put out, book, whatever. Free advertising, basically. Yep. So and we take the recordings from that and we put it into the podcast so you get out even further.
So, guys, all you need to do is when you watch this video back, if you're just watching this back, see that link that I've put in the chat, or the link that's up there. Subscribe to your channel, right? Messages, and we will give you free advertising. You know? Mm-hmm. And we might even do like a quick advertisement at the start of some of our shows. Could you please go to, say, True's Paranormal Vlog, or could you please go to the Paranormal World Investigators? Could you please go to such and such as a wee kind of help, just to help you grow, and that will be added to not just that special show, but special shows where we've got guests on that'll bring in thousands of views. We'll throw a couple of views, we'll throw it into a hat, we'll pick out 3 or 4 of these, and then we'll give you free advertisements. So subscribe, guys, for free advertisement on your channel.
Because we'll just let this little tidbit in, and he already knows details on a couple of them. We do have some very high-profile guests that we are ironing out the details about getting them on, but trust me, you'll see us dancing like idiots if we get them on.
Yeah, we can't tell you who they are, obviously, because they're that high profile. But if they come on, there'll probably be about 500-600 people in the chat.
Easy.
Okay, and if you subscribe to us, we will give you a shout out on that live, or on those recordings, as a free advertisement. In fact, we can actually run a banner at the bottom of the screen with everybody's channel's name.
Yeah, it'll look a little something like that.
Exactly like that. Except it would say Drew's Paranormal Vlog, or it would say Paranormal World Investigators. But what we also have to tell you too is when Drew and Sherry do the Lost Spells live on here, they've got to do some tarot card readings also. But it's not just that. It will be broadcast in Drew's Paranormal Vlog, and it will be broadcast on Bald and Bonkers, and it will be broadcast in Paranormal World Investigators, and 40 other locations around the world that you can all listen to. So even more free advertisements. So guys, give us a subscribe. We'll take a note of who you are. You send a wee message, see once this is uploaded. Just say I subscribed below the video, and we'll give you a shout out next Saturday. Of course, you're going to a concert, aren't you? Next Saturday, aren't you?
Well, it's not going to be next Saturday, but the Saturday after that, yes.
YMCA Saturday.
No, it's not! You fucking wanker.
You know, but we're going to move it to the Sunday next Saturday. It won't be a Saturday, but a Sunday, because he has to go to some comedian guy talking rubbish. What's that, Drew's Paranormal Vlog? Drew, 2 witches hear this manifest every day. Come at harms the things of happening in the wind of what will it do for you? You know? So, know this. Subscribe, guys, for free advertisement. And we'll do it. And it doesn't matter if we've got 100,000 subscribers. We'll keep doing it for you guys to help you grow.
Exactly. You know, because we get it. It's hard to how things grow, and unfortunately, we live in a world where, because we now hit 1,000, we're going to start getting a lot more trolls. We get a lot of negativity, and we want to try to help more of the little guy out. Yeah,
there's channels in that chat there that will be at 1,000 by next year if we have our way by free advertisement through our channel. You know, so I think that's it for tonight. New Year's coming, Hogmanay, we've got to be dancing, merriness. Well, maybe not here in Scotland because of the lockdown, but maybe you will be, Dakota. What you doing then?
I don't know. I'm more concerned about having to drive to work tonight with the fact there's more fucking snow, man. My God.
It's fine. It's only snow.
The snow's not my problem. It's the other idiots on the road. But there is one, the more tidbit I would like to add before we go.
Yes.
And for those of you who, may not be sure about advertising with us or even coming on a show with us, we do have some Hollywood connections.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
what's that?
and you may get to have some Hollywood people, come talk to you. They might be interested. You never know. You never know.
I mean, think of all these stories about, ghost hauntings and stuff like that I would love to hear about. You think about the Warren cases and that's how they started out, It's especially if you give us a subscribe, guys. I mean, what's a subscribe? It's free, right? You're helping this channel grow, but at the same time, you're getting free advertisement for your channel. But we'll be monetizing soon, hopefully. We've only got a couple. I think we need so many watch hours or something like that, but we're not far off of that, so it'll probably be a couple of months. And it'll be great. What's that? Drew's paranormal vlog there. I'm doing a live at midnight, Chris.
Oops, sorry. My bad.
I'll have to start again. Drew's paranormal vlog. There you go. Midnight. Go to Drew's paranormal vlog. Have a shindig at our house. Everybody with jiving and jolly. Even the spirits. And click on that link. But anyway, guys, have a good new year. Give us a subscribe. Share this video out. Watch it back for us. Get us those watch hours. And we will give you free advertisement for as long as we have a YouTube channel. What's that? You're doing a Hogmanay night, Drew.
Oh, what? My God.
But honestly, guys, have a lovely new year. And we'll see you, not this Saturday. Although this next Saturday, either it'll be Sunday, because he's away at a concert,
Well, excuse me for going out for my birthday.
Terrible that. You taking your mum with you?
Well, she's the one that bought the tickets.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, there's one of these damn bloody stupid bloody links in there. Right? Just ban that. Block user.
My God. Look. Yeah, that. Oh, I don't know. One of us got it, but that's the one thing I don't get about YouTube. They block all these people. I got a community. I'm driving.
You went and blocked your mother by mistake.
What? That's not my mother.
Shannon Stocklet. Is that no?
No, Susan Strickland. No.
That's no matter. Just forget me. I have to buy the glasses. Right? For a second there, I thought you'd blocked her by accident. Right? I was going to say that's terrible.
Well, she wouldn't think it was an accident, but
that's see that, by the way, there's a lot of bots this weather. But guys, have a lovely night. May the spirits and goblins and creatures from the dark come and visit you through the night. And if they do, send them to Dakota, because you can talk to them.
Yeah, be safe out, everybody. Don't have too much fun this New Year's. Yes, it sounds like we're getting ready for even more insanity, but life's worth living. So, stick around. It does get better.
Weather be light. Turned on the
exactly.
Lights,
we'll play the outro here.